Hey guys, and Merry Christmas. And it's 2023. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone, and I'll explain. I still remember about 3 years ago when I was playing on Robinhood, and people were talking about AMC being the next stock that I needed to buy. And I was listening, and I had bought 10 shares. I still remember the day. I bought 10 shares, and it was at like $9 and some change. And I was like, okay, cool. Let me see where this goes, because the 10 shares were supposed to give me $1 million. I was told they're going to be worth, 100K. Everyone was pumping it. It's the most shorted stock. It was all talked about, and there was this revolution going on the internet. So the CEO at the time was Adam Aaron, and he still is the CEO, by the way. But Adam Aaron he made a tweet, and then he put out an interview, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to be on the Trades channel on an interview." So I was like, "Oh, cool. Let me check out what he's all about. Let's just see how bad this really is as far as the company, or maybe the guidance. Maybe they're going to make this resurrection," because I was believing the narrative that movie theaters were going to come back. Pandemic was over. BC, before COVID, they were actually thumping. Everyone was in it, but I really didn't pay attention to the balance sheet. I didn't understand too much about it. So I went ahead and watched the interview from Adam Aaron to Trades, and I was blown away. I was like, wow, this guy is terrible. And I meant that in the sense that he was trying to sell me something that I didn't need. I didn't need to be convinced just how stellar movie theaters were. I just wanted to hear what the plan was and how it could be made, but there was no plan. And I heard it, and I heard him, and I was like, well, and then why is he on Twitter? And why is he on YouTube? Why is he using social media? What is the purpose of this? Like, you're not going to get real investors into it, institutional investors. This is basically just trying to appeal to the people, the retail investor, because retail owns the stock, as everyone was claiming. So I was like, oh, okay, I see. Well, I didn't like what he said, so I sold my shares. And I got the hell out of there, and I said, I don't like what he represents. I don't like what he does. So I left, and I waited till about in the middle of, I believe it was April or May, somewhere in that range. And I saw the shares at $8, $8.98, $8.99, and I bought in. I bought in again only because I thought, hey man, at least you can go back to $10 and I'll get some money out of this too. I did not sell at a loss though, the first time when I had the 10 shares. But anyway, fast forward. Next thing you know, the whole world's pumping. You guys know what happened in June of 2021. If you don't, AMC ran up from $8 all the way to 72. In that run, I sold at 30, bought back in the next day, sold again at 49. And it was only 2 shares. Like, you guys got to understand, I'm such a simple man. I just bought 2 shares just to be part of that run. But I had a huge GameStop position already by then, because I believed in GameStop and the transition of the company and the pivot, and I knew the battle that I was going to have to endure. Well, while that's going on, I'm paying attention to AMC, and I decided to start my YouTube channel, and I'm bashing, and I'm saying, Adam Aaron, you're a snake. I don't like you, because I didn't like the way he sold things. He's a scumbag in a sense of a salesman. I had no idea about private equity. I had no idea his previous jobs and what he had done before, and leveraging that with what happened to the company moving forward. I just remember him doing interview after interview, trying to convince me that he was on the path of profitability, and the shareholder value was like the most paramount thing out there. We're worried about the shareholders. We're all shareholders. And then he would say, I'm the largest shareholder. Of course it matters to me. Things of that nature. But while saying all of this, all of his friends and peers sold off all their shares. Insiders themselves made over, I believe, $880 million worth of profits off the sale of the shares. So fast forward to it all. You saw every YouTuber come out, pump this stock. I don't care who they were. AMC Bigums, Boss Blunts, Tony De Niro, I guess Shaw, AMC Shaw, I think that's his name. You had a delusional rapper by the name of Phil For Real. You had, God, there's so many guys. Astro, Matthew Kors was even pumping it while it was going up, and sold and made $1 million. Trades made $1 million. Short the VIX was pumping. Review Dork was pumping. There's so many guys out there just grifting off this movement and this crowd. They saw their payday, and they all took it. Left people out to dry. Just to let you know. So, and that's my opinion. But as that's going on, I'm still trying to make video after video, trying to save people, and I can't, because the voices get muted, and people know, they'll be like, oh no, look at the delivery. This guy can't be right. Not only is the share now reverse stock split infinity to none, you got to remember what else he did with this company. He gave away free NFTs just because it was the thing to do, but he bought into a gold mine, a bankrupt gold mine, because Mudrick Capital was the parent company, essentially the number one shareholder. And those are the same guys who gave AMC money to survive during the pandemic. And that allowed all these executives to get millions and millions of dollars in their pocket. So his allegiance is to the people that afforded him those bonuses and or that pay over the last 2 years, 3 years. So it was it wasn't a shocker to anyone when they developed a coin, an additional, I don't want to say coin, I keep saying that all the time, but they developed an additional preferred equity unit called APE. That's what that stands for. They built that and they gave it to everyone. It was the Trojan horse of investment world. And we called it that the day it came out. I said it. We went to numerous Spaces calls, tried to talk to everyone. There was guys like Tara Bull. I meant to say girls, but Tara Bull was in there. Froggy Stonks. Spencer, that's who was pumping it. David versus Goliath. Pete, 5G, whatever. It doesn't matter. All these guys, all these fake Twitter guys that refuse to put the real name and picture on it, they were the ones pumping out this stock. And a lot of people just basically cleaned the slate on their Twitter to say, I never talked about it and I never pumped it, because they don't want to get into trouble. Well, guys, AMC managed to find its way all the way down this rabbit hole that they developed this thing called APE. They handed out and they took everyone's money. Everyone's money. While painting it to say they were manipulated, they were getting shorted, they're getting attacked. And while he's getting attacked, the AMC shareholder, while they're getting attacked because of APE coming out and it being devalued, Adam Aron dilutes it, sells it to the people actually shorting it, and says it's because it's a good deal for Antura and himself. And if you guys don't know this story, if you guys don't understand it, it's been documented on my YouTube channel from start to finish over the last 3 years. I mean, I have over 1,800 videos on YouTube alone, not to mention, TikTok or whatever. There's videos over there too, but there's no way, you have to be unconscious to understand or to still believe in AMC. Right? Like, you're looking at it and you're like, Adam Aron, okay, he did all of this to us, to the retail investor. And again, he finds a way out of it. He finds a way to say, hey, he's traveling the country to just, I guess, check the temperature in the room. Hey, how do these guys feel about me? He felt the heat. I mean, he had a sex scandal in between it where he's sexting an underage girl, allegedly, or he thought was 17 or he thought was 18. The man is 68 years old. He's 50 years her senior, and he thinks that she's trying to sext him because she likes him. Like, how delusional can you be? As a CEO, you're already delusional about your company. Now you're more delusional about your personal affairs. And people just washed it on the rug to say, oh, that was private, it wasn't public. It had nothing to do with his job. No, when I do stuff in private, it affects my job publicly. Because I work in the public, just like he does, right? No, don't we all? I mean, I'm telling you, you go get yourself a DUI and see if it doesn't affect your job. This guy can do whatever he wants and it doesn't affect his job because he's protected by money. He's protected by higher money than people want to admit. But what happened with Adam Aron is he kept pushing out this idea that they're a profitable company. They're turning it around. They're doing none of that. They're just masking the debt and the bankruptcy that's coming with dilution, and masked with supposed profits. But there's no profits. You can't show a profit when you're not servicing your debt. And the only way that you actually function as a company is to dilute and via offerings. That's it. So it's not the business model, right? And I'm telling you this story for a reason, guys. Because we've been here for 3 years. It's Christmas, and I can't believe it. I was like sitting there this morning. I was like, this is amazing. This story of AMC and how he ripped everyone off, just ruined people's lives by lying to them, literally lying to them. And you would be like, well, what did he lie about? Okay, how about he had omitted facts and truth? The truth is they don't have a plan. They don't have a path to profitability. They don't have a way out. It's just not even possible. And I've told people this for 1,000 years and I gotta listen, right? They're like, no, you're wrong. Yeah, sure, whatever. Look at the movies. Okay, go look at them. Look at that industry that's down 80% over the last 10 years. It's done. And they know this. But let's go ahead and keep going. I mean, it gets worse. He offers up the company, dilutes the float. He offers it all up to everyone at retail's expense. They take the money. They pay themselves fat bonuses. I mean, these guys own nothing. They put into the bylaws that you have to own X amount of shares after 3 and 5 years, in between 3 and 5 years, for the senior officers, right, for the NEOs. And when you look at it, guys, you think these executive officers are going to own the shares? They sold every share they have. Do you know why they sell all their shares? Because they're going bankrupt. They're not going to be around in 3 to 5 years. And not only they're not going to be around in 3 to 5 years, they might just go private after that. Someone already has money on the sideline ready to buy it out and offer a sweetheart deal, because they're buying portions of this company at 70 cents a share. Well, the new amount is $7, but that's really 70 cents after the 10-to-1 reverse stock split. So the peak of this stock was $720 a share in 2021, compared to the stock price now at $6. You'll never get there. You'll never get there. For those guys that have cost-based averages over $400, I apologize that you listen to Common Sense Investor, that you listen to the other failed YouTubers that put out that misinformation. But I'm around to show you the truth. I mean, you guys can go look at the videos and it'll all show you truth. But check this out. You go from one spot, one failed company, one failed grift that they did, and then they jump right over to Bed Bath & Beyond. And now it's even more delusional monster, because they're all chasing the losses that were AMC. And instead of buying the one thing that's actually making a profit, the one company that actually is doing something progressive, like GameStop, no, they literally go buy Bed Bath & Beyond and say, I think this might happen. It's more delusion on top of more delusion. You've seen people chase BBIG. You've seen people chase MMLT, LP, whatever the hell it is. You've seen people chase, well, right now, MULN Automotive, 100-to-1 reverse stock split after I told you what it was. They'll be out of here next year. It's over. I mean, there's nothing left, guys. All these investments they're putting in front of you, there's nothing left. So get ready. It's a new year, 2024, and get ready for the next, diversion, the next dilute and dispute stock coming your way, because it's coming. And when it does, I'll be the first one to red flag it. I'll know when I see it. I already see some out there in the woodworks. I see Carvana. I see it from a mile away. I see Kohl's. I see a lot of things out there, but I want you guys to be aware of what's coming your way. And as far as Bed Bath & Beyond goes, those guys lost every dollar they never had because they listened to more idiots that pumped out more stocks. I mean, can you imagine? PP Seats is pumped out, and I'm sorry, Alex is pumped out. Let's see how many, about 10 different tickers over the last 3 years, all of whom have lost every dollar. Every dollar. They're all down 99%. It's not just about the stock price either. Let's talk about the balance sheet itself. There is no company called Bed Bath & Beyond. Can you imagine having a show and info about Bed Bath & Beyond when it doesn't exist? Hey, Tuesday morning. I'm talking about the company, not the day after Christmas. Tuesday morning doesn't exist anymore. Pier 1 Imports doesn't exist anymore. Circuit City, Sears, Radio Shack. The names are still out there. They sold the IPs, things like that still, but the companies don't exist anymore, right? The executive team doesn't exist. The shareholders have no value. I don't know who lied to these people. I don't know who wanted to put them in the room and say, this is DD, this is tinfoil, this is entertainment. I don't find entertainment in robbing people, period. So, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Pay attention to the grift that was. AMC diluted yesterday, and I reported that too. Keep diluting their float. They keep diluting just to pay off interest payments. They have more expenses in interest than they do in operating expenses right about now. I mean, they're done. They're done, and there's no way around it. All right. Hey, Marantz, you're wrong. I mean, you can go down the list, right? Scavenger, ABC, PPCs, Roach. Name them all, guys. I don't care who you bring my way. They've all been wrong. And GameStop? Well, GameStop's profitable. Trailing 12, profitable. The annual, profitable. Ask Wall Street. They know. They know what it is, and you know what it is. It's GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. I'm going to see you around, millionaires. Maybe next year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Everyone else, understand the grift that was in front of you. It's taken 3 years, and it played out the worst way possible. Everybody lost everything, with the exception of GameStop. Peace.